Well, hello and welcome to a Sunday daily. We have some campaign features, and actually, this campaign feature is a start of game effect, which modifies our starting deck. And instead of starting with, I don't know, 3 estates and 7 coppers, or the shelters and the 7 coppers, we start with survivors, a ruined village, a ruined market, a ruined library, an abandoned mine, and 5 coppers. So we have all of the 5 ruins mixed into our deck, replacing 3 estates and 2 coppers. And that means we have a very, very bumpy road to scale, but let's see how this one will go. I'm quite intrigued, but I'm also not too happy about the opening split we got. I think it's on the better side still because many of the opening splits with this suck, especially if you want to hit 5. But yeah, I don't know. It's not the greatest. So um, yeah, let's see how this will go. And as always, I will start by just explaining the cards, and if you're not interested in that, skip to the next timestamp. We have Squire, which is a very versatile 2-cost card, +1 coin, choose one, +2 actions, or +2 buys, or gain a silver. And yeah, that's, as I said, very flexible, can be used as a village if you need it. It can be used as extra buys, it can be used as a silver gainer, although the silver gaining is usually the weakest mode. And also, when you trash the Squire, you gain an attack card. So when you trash a Squire here, you can gain a Minion or a Swamp Hag. Both fairly okay options. I think Minion might be a tad better. We then have Taskmaster, +1 action, +1 coin, and if you gain a card costing exactly 5 this turn, then at the start of your next turn, repeat this ability. So Taskmaster is one of those cards that can scale really nicely, especially if there are a lot of grade 5 costs around. Here also, it's notable that one of the 5 costs carries a plus buy, so one day even if you don't have plus buy in your deck, when you put the Taskmasters in play and start this train of uh, gaining 5 costs, you will be able to scale up. And yeah, the 5 costs here are all pretty desirable. Livery, strong, upgrade, minion, all of those I would suggest buying. So Taskmaster might be good, but it comes with the caveat that in the beginning it only gives +1 coin, and thus it might be a little hard to hit 5 on the turn you put the Taskmaster in play, actually. Um, yeah, I don't know. We will go for those, I think, but maybe a bit later once we've trashed a bit. Patron, +1 villager, +2 coins, and when something causes you to reveal this using the word reveal in an action phase, +1 coffers. Unfortunately, there is no such thing here, I believe, and this bottom line thing doesn't matter at all, and that makes the patron essentially a fancy silver, +1 villager and +2 coins. Although if you don't play any further action afterwards, you can use the villager to later in the game, yeah, have an extra action. I don't know, maybe I should explain what a villager is. It's a portable action, essentially, that you can spend at any time. We have capital, 6 coins, +1 buy, so very, very strong this turn. But when you discard this from play, you also get 6 debt, and that's essentially makes it give 0 coins net. But for example, if you play a bunch of them on your last turn, you don't care about the debt you get in, and then they are really nice. But yeah, I don't know. It's plus buy, non-terminal plus buy. Squire can also be plus buy, so we might go for Squire rather than capital. Galleria, +3 coins. This turn, when you gain a card costing 3 or 4, +1 buy. And this is also plus buy. Might be better than capital, actually, as I think you will want to gain a few Taskmasters, but also the 3s and 4s, I don't know. Taskmaster and Patron are fine-ish, but you don't want to gain a bunch of them. But oh me, oh my, I've just realized that, of course, here in this kingdom we also have Livery, which gains you horses. So Livery says +3 coins. This turn, when you gain a card costing 4 or more, gain a horse. And if you get both Galleria and Livery in play and buy a 5-cost card, then of course you will gain a horse, and the horse will trigger, and the horse gain will trigger Galleria as horses cost 3, and then you'll get an extra buy. So it's a nice synergy if you can get both of them in play. Litter is +2 cards, +2 actions, +1 debt, which can be annoying with the +1 debt, but here we have Livery and Galleria, both very strong action cards, getting you 3 coins, so I think Litters will be very, very well worth it. Minion, +1 action, choose one, +2 coins, so essentially the action silver. Or discard your hand for +4 cards, and then each other player with at least 5 cards in hand also discards their hand and draws 4 cards. And minion decks like Disappearing Payload, like Taskmaster, Patron, like Livery, actually everything here goes in favor of minion decks. The only thing is that if you have a minion deck and you have a bunch of horses, and I don't know, you might not profit from the hand size increase as much, but still we might go for a few of those. There are different actions of different ways to draw here, either using Litter and Livery or using minions, and both are pretty viable here. And the attack can be pretty devastating, as we saw a few days ago, where the AI bought this minion and completely screwed my early game, having me hit 5 for the first time at turn 8, where it was really important to hit 5. But yeah, that's Minion for you. Swamp Hag at the start of your next turn, +3 coins, and until then, when another player gains a card they bought, so if they buy a card, they gain a curse. And yeah, why is there this weird gains a card they bought thing? Well, they only want to target buys with the Swamp Hag and not gains, because otherwise gaining 1 curse would mean that you gain all of the curses. And also like stuff like Livery and Horse would trigger twice. But it can be quite the annoying attack, especially if you're already behind in trashing. And yeah, for that reason, it's really important to get upgrades here. Upgrades say +1 card, +1 action, trash a card from your hand, gain a card costing exactly 1 more than it, and that means you can trash out the ruins and the coppers without having to gain any other card. And that also means that you can turn a Squire into Taskmaster, for example, while trashing the Squire will gain you a Minion or a Swamp Hag. And yeah, upgrade seems super important in this kingdom, especially since you start with all of this junk in deck. Wedding is finally an event. Oh, I didn't consider this in my opening things, but I think wedding still might not be worth it. Anyways, it costs essentially 7, but you can buy it for 4 and then be in debt for a bit. You get a victory point and you gain a gold. And yeah, I don't know. It's not super enticing, especially since gold and also capital and treasures in general anti-synergize with minion decks, as there you just want very lean decks without many treasures and also without much green. And yeah, so let's discuss what we are going to do in this kingdom. 9 minutes of introduction, I'm sorry. Yeah, this kingdom has a pretty nice kingdom plot. Like, there seems to be a lot of village and litter and taskmaster and squire. All of those are fairly okay village choices, especially litter. And then there's a bunch of stuff to gain with Livery Galleria. There's 3 types of plus buy, and upgrade also can upgrade your bad cards into better cards. Thinning is there in upgrade, and I think whatever you do here, you really want to prioritize hitting 5 early and often for a bunch of upgrades. Like the first 2 5s, maybe 3 5s should be upgrades to get thin. Because once you get thin and once you have a bit of payload in deck, like the first livery, um, you will be able to start doing stuff. You'll be able to start getting litter, you'll be able to start getting Galleria, maybe get a few Taskmasters in play. But until that point, until you have all of those runes in deck, your deck will suck. And that's why you really want those upgrades. There's draw in livery, actually a bunch of draw in livery and litter, and also minion can be viable draw here. So yeah, we do want to build big here, but we want to pray and hope that we hit 5 early. Opening wise, to facilitating hitting 5, there is a bunch of stuff to consider here, a bunch of combinations of possible openings. I'm not listing all of them here. Like for example, you could hit a 1-5 and just by upgrade turn 2. I think that's a pretty good opening. Maybe B in yeah, in how good it is. By the way, if you're wondering why you have 6 coins here instead of just the 5 coppers, is because of the ruined mine, which also gives you one money on play. But this also means that sometimes even you cannot play any of the other runes. And yeah, I think one of the worst openings is the 2-4. Oh, I think I copied over the upgrade there. Let me pause the video. All right, and I'm back, and you should have seen. Yeah, on the 2-4, I think this is the worst opening here, as you're also not very likely. Well, you're somewhat likely to hit 5 on a reshuffle, but not super likely. Actually, the more I think about it, it's not resignable. Maybe it's an E opening. It's not great, but it's okay. And also, I forgot, since the runes are already in our starting deck, that Patron indeed does have a thing that can reveal it, and that is the survivors. As the survivors, let's say, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, discard them, or put them back in any order. Here are the other runes for you. I forgot to mention those in the opening discussion. Anyways, I think in the end, yeah, the 2-4 is still, I think, the worst one. The 4-2 seems alright if you can play the survivors turn 2. If you can only play the ruined library turn 2, you have a risk of drawing the patron dead. So then in that case, you might want to only go for silver. But yeah, hitting 5 is paramount, hitting upgrade is paramount. So yeah, try to facilitate this. And we have the 3-3 essentially, with the survivors in our turn 1 hand. Had we not had any of the shuffle triggering cards in this hand, we would be off a bit worse, I think. But here we can play the survivors and discard those. And next turn, there's 1 copper, the rune mine, and the rune market in there. So hopefully we'll hit 5 on the reshuffle. This looks good. I think we just... Wait, we have the silver, 3 coppers, and the runed library in there, so we're guaranteed to hit 5, which is very good. Now the question is, do we want to put in 1 more silver, or do we just skip our turn? We want to see the upgrade as often as possible, but we also want to hit more 5. So I guess this could also be a Squire, but Squire is really bad in the early game. Silver Taskmaster seem like options to me. Yeah, let's go for the silver. And here we get to draw into the last copper, play the ruined village. And we hit 5, which is huge, and we even see the upgrade here. Now here, of course, we trash the ruined village. The survivors will discard whatever is there. I think I'm saying this and then realizing that the rest of the cards are 2 coppers and yeah, I think we discard here, and next turn we play the ruined um, the ruined library to trigger the shuffle. Hopefully not drawing that or upgrade. And do we want anything? I think at this point, even though a patron would be quite alright, I think a patron is okay. Now let's see what the rune library will draw. Please no upgrade, please no upgrade, please no upgrade. Amazing. And that bodes well. And now I think it's okay to add in Taskmaster. Here we're not going to play the survivors, but we can turn this patron into another upgrade. And no, actually then we can play the survivors. And since we have the upgrade in there, discard those. And now I think it's time for livery. C, okay. What do we do here? Not going to hit 5 with the Taskmaster. Still just get rid of this and put in one more patron. Please attack us with the minion. Yeah, they don't. They probably are going to get rid of one of our good hands. Let's put in a litter at this point. Now the minion might come in. Nope. Okay, very good. Play the Taskmaster first, and we're guaranteed to be able to turn this patron into a 5 cost, which is really good, as this will leave the Taskmaster in play. And at this point, I think we can either buy another Taskmaster or a Squire. Next turn there's the Livery and the other upgrade, but we might get minioned. So what does that imply? I don't know what that implies, but we for sure will want to keep hitting 5. I think Taskmaster is fine. There we go. Oh, stays in play. We get to play the upgrade here, get rid of the survivors, I think. Yeah, I think that's good. Play this other Taskmaster. Now we have 2 in play. And now we do have the Rune Market still in deck. So for now, I think it's good to just stock up on either litter or livery. Yeah, right. Litter or livery. I think it can be a second livery already. And here, well, let's play the litter first, then the upgrade, trash out the abandoned mine, and here we hit 6. And this can now be another litter, as litter livery is pretty decent draw. And I think we're on quite a good track. Yeah, this needed to be a 5 and not like Squire and Patron because of the Taskmasters to reactivate them, of course. And hopefully this hand doesn't get minioned. And AI does get some livery stuff going. We also do get some livery stuff going, which is really good. Get a few horses in through that. Get a few horses in through that. And we can just buy maybe Galleria at this point and another patron. And because we have all of those horses in deck, then we'll be able to probably connect the upgrades with the patrons and turn them into better 5 cost cards. now, yeah, I think we're rolling now. We've survived the early game, and yeah, look at this. I mean, we can put all of this stuff into play already. Upgrade Patron into another litter. Well, no, there's another litter there. So maybe already another livery. Play this litter. Play that litter. Draw into the livery first. Yeah, let's go. Play the upgrade Patron into upgrade. And we have a bunch of buys and stuff. We even get to set aside one villager. And now here with 18, we can go ham on deliveries, litters. I wonder if there's not a win yet, but maybe one more Galleria and another Taskmaster. Why not? And then hopefully next turn we'll be able to win the game. I bought, yeah, I don't know. This looks very, very good. Could have even drawn on and tried to do some more upgrade stuff. But yeah, this seems quite won unless we somehow dud here. But with all of those horses in deck, it's rather unlikely. AI also does get in a few liveries and buys capitals. I think Gallerias are much better here than capitals. Yeah, look at this beautiful, beautiful draw. We get to the end of the shuffle, get to put in all of those liveries. We can turn this patron now into another. What does this want to be? Maybe just upgrade. I think we should be able to pile the upgrades here, right? If we just keep on upgrading horses into no, it's not possible. So what does this want to be? Maybe just another livery. Now we played litter. Now the other Galleria. And can turn this horse into a patron. Play this livery. Can turn one more horse into a patron. Play the patron here. End our actions. And is this a win? This should be a win, right? We can just buy livery, livery, patron, patron. And yeah, province. And do one of my favorite things in kingdoms with a bunch of gallerias. We can pile out the copper pile. Amazing. Yeah, this was fun. As you saw in the end, we didn't get any horses from the patron anymore because we had all for all of the horses in our deck. And yeah, we win this game in a very stylish fashion. And that's a copper pile out for you there. But yeah, I don't know. This kingdom, as you saw, has a bunch of potential with livery, Galleria upgrade stuff going on. But it's so important to early on hit those upgrades. And if you do not, like, I don't know, let's look at the AI's deck. The AI preferred to, I don't know, what did it trash with its, I think it trashed the Squire. And yeah, it didn't trash, it didn't thin down, it rather trashed the Squire to gain this minion. Oops, I wanted to show this. And that meant that it still had all of this junk in deck, which is really bad. So I think second upgrade is paramount. The third upgrade we only got very late. And yeah, when do you get to end the game with 51 coppers? I mean, mostly in Galleria games, I'd say. If only there was tower in this kingdom. Yeah, and with that, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will try to catch you in the next one. And until then, goodbye.